Alright, so this is Mania on North State Street. It's about a give or take 30 to 50 minute drive from the other location that I have on this channel. I've noticed a lot of them kind of have a similar theme. They all just have a lot of retro classics, and they all are relatively well put together. Just like the last one, this place is split up into two sides. So there's one half with a bunch of redemption games, and then there's another half with all the old games and a bunch of pinball. The pinball selection at this one is not as diverse, and there's actually a lot of duplicates here, but they have a couple of other games that I wanted to play, so I decided to come on out. He's got a lot of these showcase cabs at this location, which is kind of interesting. You can see, you got the Tetris and all this other stuff. I'll come back around to these. But I will try to be quiet for the other people playing. But I just want to get a video of all of these.
Oh, sick. Oh, shoot.
How'd Dad play one?
You can do it. It's fine. But you gotta wiggle it and you can go faster with the trigger, okay?
Yeah, so you're able to go fast.
Got a cruising world with this topper. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's kind of interesting. These are pretty old. A dark silhouette silent scope 2. Which I think he had the first one at the other location. I remember seeing these at Red Robin a long time ago, and at a couple of arcades back in the day. This multi-Williams cab is kind of interesting. Miss Pac-Man, Missile Command. This is an interesting Missile Command cab, actually. I don't know, is this the original Missile Command? I'm normally used to seeing the cabarets or cocktails or whatever they call them. And a dedicated Smash TV. Smash TV is a great game, very fun. And I'm not going to go into too much depth here compared to the last one, but this is quite interesting. Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think I've ever seen this game. I'm sure it's at Galloping Ghost, but I am not too familiar, to be honest, with so many games there. He's got a Star Wars Trilogy arcade with the what looks like the original Rear Pro CRT still barely hanging on by a thread. Another 6-player X-Men. I feel like this guy has like half the stock in the world, and they have swiper holes drilled into them. Isn't that cool? Another Betson Supernova cab. This one, there's a Time Crisis 3. So I think the other one was a Time Crisis 4, and then this one is a Time Crisis 3. So like I said, the pinball selection is a little weaker this time around on this one, but the machines appear to be in better cosmetic shape at this place. Like I actually believe this Xenon has had a hardtop put on it. It looks beautiful. Like this has had a lot of work done to it. I'm not sure if this is a reproduction playfield or if this is a hardtop, but it definitely is not the original. If this is the original, somebody found a pristine example and clear coated it. Got a Machine Bride of Pinbot. This one's in pretty rough shape, but most of the games from this era, unless you have a playfield swap, are gonna be a little rough. This was pre-diamond plate, so. Another Monopoly. If you watched the last video, this was also at the other location, albeit in maybe a little bit worse shape. This one seems to be a bit more clean. I can't really say, but got a Fire by Williams. You don't see this one on location too often. A lot of these, well, this isn't a System 11, I don't think. I'm a little unfamiliar with this era of Williams. I'm personally not the biggest fan of these older games, pre Funhouse. Not really my kind of games. So the other one had a Harley Davidson Sega. This is a Harley Davidson Stern 3rd edition. So I think this was like the third run that they did, because at the time it was, I guess, in demand. And they made another run. You can see this one's got the chrome lockdown bar, which is kind of cool. I might play one game of this before I leave. It's apparently kind of okay, I guess. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of it. Dr. Dude. I'm not a super big fan of this game, but the music and the callouts, top notch. Gotta love it. Again, playfield's got some wear, like you normally kind of see on these older games, but they're definitely in player's condition. If you want to have a good game, they're a little floaty. A lot of the games here are definitely a bit more floaty than you might come to find on some more hardcore pinball places, but they're still very much playable. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Fascinating thing about this, if it goes, I want to see, because this is before you could kind of, look at this. No credit dot. That is absolutely impressive for this particular title. This game just has so many things going on in it, so many eddy sensors, so many optos that just like to go bad, so many motors that have issues. But what's ironic is the game plays decent, but the flipper is not orientated correctly, so making shots from this flipper is a little difficult. And this little wire form here, I do not think is lined up properly, because the ball will actually get stuck if it's going down this orbit really slow, and it's hard stuck. Like it will not move. I had to call an attendant to fix that. Doctor Who, didn't play this one. This one's pretty dirty. I don't think this one's had a lot of love personally. Doctor Who's an okay game. This side loop is very fun. But kind of a whatever game, does not have the lightning flippers on here, and the flippers are not quite aligned, but they're not too bad. Lightning flippers, whatever. More of an era thing. I don't really think games need lightning flippers. You can make the shots from either. A Stern Star Trek. I think this is the Vault Edition. I'm not too sure. It looks very clean. I believe this is the Vault Edition, but I'm not quite sure. This is probably the best Stern Star Trek that I've played on that's on location. It shoots fantastic, and the flippers are nice and strong. I got decently through the game. I don't know the rules too much of this game, but I felt like it was definitely a really good player's condition game to play. Again, I'm not sure if it's the Vault Edition or not. Coming around the sides here, and I know I'm missing some games off to the side, but I'll probably get the perimeter here in a minute. Got an Iron Maiden Pro, and this is a bit of a Frankenstein. It's kind of funny. So it's got a couple mods. It's got the Mummy mod here, got the flipper topper things, which I've never been a big fan of. But if you look down here, it's got the premium apron, and it actually kind of sticks over the shoot again light, which is kind of funny. So, this is definitely one of those games where you don't really need the premium, but it's funny. It's like he tried to make it a premium. Also got mirror blades. I didn't even notice that these were on here while I was playing. I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, well, I guess I don't need to get mirror blades for my games because I don't notice them. Another Twilight Zone. This one's in better shape on the play field versus the one at the other location. But it's still been played to death, as you can see. The top playfield has some planking going on, which I notice tends to happen on some of these Twilight Zones. It's kind of interesting. He's got the back box, or back plate thing. I don't really know what those are called, decals. You can kind of see the shooter lane here. It's pretty beat up. This one's got a lot of fade on it. Lots of fade. My particular Twilight Zone, I got kind of lucky. This is how they always go. One side looks absolutely beautiful, and then the other side looks awful. Riverboat Gambler. I don't normally see these too often. This is another one of those games that you just really don't see very often. It's kind of cool. The playfield looks great. I'm not super familiar with this game. It says this game came out in 1990. But like, if this is the original playfield and this is not a hard top, this has not been played a lot, like at all. It looks, to be quite honest with you, pretty brand new. It's pretty cool. Again, not a big fan of this game, but it's still cool. Cactus Canyon Chicago Gaming Remake. Not much to talk about this one. You've probably seen one of these on location if you do anything pinball in the modern era. These are kind of everywhere now. which is ironic because they have so many Cactus Canyons, but no Medieval Madnesses, guys. Where's the Medieval Madness? A Gottlieb Cactus Jacks. This is apparently one of the Gottlieb games that's worth playing. It's got some okay flow to it, which is kind of cool. I just am not a fan of Gottlieb games. I think they're pretty boring. Another Pinbot. I think this was at the other location. Maybe I am mistaken. But it's in decent shape. You know, the usual wear and tear with the inserts and all that stuff. But looks like it's been well maintained over the years. World Cup Soccer. This is a really fun game when it works. Unfortunately, not a lot of them do. And this one is actually not in the best shape. The game itself is clean for the most part. The mechs all work and stuff like that. However, there is a major issue with this. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but this little inlane piece of metal is bent, and it's actually causing flipper hop. So when you go down this inlane, the flipper hops, or the ball hops significantly, making shots almost impossible. It's really, really bad on this one. Another Star Trek, Data East. This one's in way better shape than the one at the West Jordan location. This one has definitely not been played a whole lot over the years, so this is definitely a good player's condition game. It's interesting, it has a bill acceptor there and a couple of tag stickers. Another Space Station. I'm not going to go over this one too much. Again, good game, good music, not very fun for me personally, but people really like it. So this was so interesting. When I came in here and saw this was very, very unique. You don't see these very often. This is the Gottlieb Super Mario Mushroom World. This one was designed to give out tickets. You can see the ticket back down here, which is really cool. Currently, as you can see, super tiny. I believe there's an option to actually raise the legs, but he's got it set to really low so anybody can play it. And you can see the flippers are kind of wacky. There's nothing really interesting about this game. It's kind of boring, but it is a very cool, unique game you do not see too often. I don't think they made more than like 500 of these, so it's pretty cool. I'm gonna kind of skim through these because we got a couple people playing them, and these were all at the other location. So, a Terminator 2, Whodunit, South Park, Roadshow. Got an Addams Family. This one's in way better condition. I'll actually look at this one. There's a junkyard. I don't see these too often either. I do not know how you're supposed to get around this, but it's still pretty cool. This game's kind of broken with the video mode if you know anything about the rules, so it's kind of a one-trick pony, but still a really cool game for the era. Lots of cool mechs. It's cool to see one in person again. I don't really see this game too often in public anymore. Even for sale, not many people sell these. And Elvira's House of Horrors. Just like the other location, all of the modern Sterns are connected to Insider Connected and are set as an official location, so your achievements will actually quote-unquote count. This one played really, really well. Flippers were really strong, super clean. You can actually, I believe this was just clean because there's like no ball trails anywhere. It definitely plays great. TNMT Pro. I absolutely hate this game, and it's nothing to do with the shots, nothing to do with the music, the layout, really anything like that. I know some people don't like the layout. It's the scoring. The scoring feels awful. It's like you're playing an early Jersey Jack game. I don't know what they were thinking with this one, to be quite honest, but you know, to each their own. All right, and then this is the last row of pinballs here. Got a Star Wars Premium. I had an okay game of this recently, actually. I had a 700 million game. There was one time I was ready for a video mode. It had a 50x multiplier, but I couldn't get it to work, which was unfortunate. Work as in make the shot work. I just couldn't make it, and could have had a lot of points there, but I missed out on it. I am personally not a big fan of Star Wars. I think it's one of Steve Ritchie's worst games, but I always try to play them wherever I go just to see how this particular one plays. Godzilla Premium. You all know Godzilla Premium. Everybody loves Godzilla Premium. This one plays decent. You know, the flippers are weak because it gets played all the time, but still playable. Venom Pro, the toy pinball machine. Do not ever buy a Venom Pro. It is awful. There is nothing to this game, and it is boring. I know that might offend a couple people, but I don't know. It's just not my game. The premium is cool. I actually do think the premium is worth, you know, the secondhand market price, but the Pro just feels so empty. It's kind of insulting. John Wick Pro. I don't like the rules of this game, but the shots are really fun, and the game flows pretty well. Not a very big fan of it, though. I know this is at the other location, but I didn't really talk too much about it. Hook. I know this one was at the other location. Not going to look at this one too much. It's basically in the same shape. A Black Rose. This is one you don't see too often as well. Unfortunately, a pinball is missing, so the game will not start. I don't know where it's stuck. It doesn't seem to want to shake loose, but it plays really, really well. If, you know, I would assume it would play really, really well if the ball wasn't stuck. I'm actually kind of curious. Not really worth it. Isn't it amazing that Addams Family came out around the same time that this game came out? It's a night and day difference. The Getaway. High Speed. This was also at the other location. I think this one is in a bit better shape, but I don't really know. I've played too much of this game, so I'm not really interested in it anymore. And then this one was cool, a Popeye. I don't like this game, but it's cool to see one on location. Again, this is just one of those games you really don't see too often. Just for sale and on location, like, period. This was the last of the Super Pin games before they stopped making them because they were like, oh, hey, wait a minute, guys, this is not profitable. We got to do something. This is kind of crazy, though. I've actually never really seen a Popeye in person. I think the last time, well, I have, but I think the last time I saw Popeye in person, it was like Pinball Expo 2010 or something, like a long time ago. So, kind of cool. I don't see any ramps. I don't really know. Maybe I'll play this game. I've never really played it. Got a crazy taxi sit down. Got a couple of Fast and Furious cabinets linked up together, and then a Batman. And then over here is just all the redemption, kind of like I was talking about. It's just all redemption and basketball games and stuff like that. So I will really fast get a view of these games over here. Again, most of these were already at the other location, but you know, I might as well kind of show you what is here in case you plan on showing up at some point. But yeah, just like the other location, a lot of these games have good volume settings, good flippers. You know, there's going to be that usual just kind of random problem that pops up with pinball on location. But I mean, you can see I would argue this one's a little too loud, just a little bit. And here I'll get this last one over here. This is kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen one of these before. A House of the Dead 2 sit-down cabinet. I didn't actually know they made sit-down versions of this game. I've only ever seen the stand-ups, and I think it is running the original. I think this is the Rear Pro monitor, which is very impressive. Again, these Rear Pros did not last. Well, they lasted, but you know, at this point, they're all kind of dying. So, yeah. Again, just like the other location, very nice place for pinball. If you are ever in the area, definitely check it out. They're usually well maintained. So, yeah.